At this juncture, I hand over to Ms. Alicia Ali, who will be presenting on behalf of the Commission, the OECS Commission this morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Jesse. Thank you so very much. Welcome, viewers of the National Television Network around the Eastern Caribbean and around the world. My name is Alicia Ali, as Jesse said, and I'm with the OECS Commission. It is a momentous occasion for us here today, where we are really and truly showing the OECS's commitment to regional integration and a collective response to the COVID-19 pandemic. So at this juncture, it's the moment we've all been waiting for. I would like to invite the Chief Executive Officer of Digicel St. Lucia, Siobhan James Alexander, to present to Ms. Jenny Daniel from the Ministry of Health and Wellness a donation of masks. Now, as you may know, Digicel gave US $100,000 for the health response to the COVID-19 pandemic. The OECS has a very, very good, very integrated private sector strategy. And from that strategy, we sounded a clarion call across the region to engage our private sector partners. And Digicel was one of the first companies to respond. And so now we invite them to show us what it is they have contributed to the COVID-19 response. Ms. James Alexander and Ms. Daniel. Can we see what's in the bag? Sure.
Good morning, Director General Dr. Didicus Jules, Deputy Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Health and Wellness, Ms. Jenny Daniels, other invited guests. Good morning and thank you so much. On behalf of Digicel, it is indeed our pleasure to have partnered with the OECS as part of our COVID response. Over the last few months, we've been working with the governments across the region in terms of their priorities, health and education. Coming together with the OECS, we realized that across the region we needed a collaboration and a collective response. And PPEs being one of the things that the frontline workers needed the most, we decided that we would contribute to that. And we do hope that this goes a long way within the 9 departments, the 9 countries. And we remain committed in our response and our working together with the governments. So thank you so much for being a partner with us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I do need to mention the US $100,000 that Digicel donated was for the health response. But Digicel also contributed to closing the digital divide. So they did donate as well $40,000 to the OECS Commission's COVID education response. And for that, we are very thankful. And we have a little bit more on our agenda, and as Siobhan said, 9 member states are going to benefit from the mask donation. It's about 60,000 masks that will be given to our member states, and we will be shipping those very shortly. And so at this juncture, we are going to take a little break, but when we're back, we're going to hear more about the OECS Commission and ventilators. So stay tuned, we'll be back in a moment.
Hello and welcome to the OECS Link.
A conversation is a talk. Informal but informed.
Hello, Dr. Jules.
Hi, how are you?
Between 2 or more people in which news and ideas are exchanged.
A lot of adjustments have to happen at every level.
Coming to you from around the Eastern Caribbean, join us every week on this station as we build relationships that uplift our region.
And I would encourage persons to go to the OECS Facebook page.
Tell us what's happening in your country and your community.
Find us on all social media platforms.
Email your pictures and videos to media@oecs.int.
The OECS Link is powered by Republic Bank.
We at war with a virus.
knees. Better yet, use soap and water.
We must protect each other if we are to beat this corona.
Together let us win this war. Be a soldier for St. Lucia. Together let us win this war. Be a soldier, together we can beat this corona.
So you don't become the next case. Avoid touching your face. I'm sure you've been told so. Handshakes and hugging are up. No, no.
Advice is you the please. Cover your mouth and your nose if you cough or sneeze.
Practice social distancing and avoid large social gatherings.
Together let us win this war. Be a soldier for St. Lucia. Together let us win this war. St. Lucia, be a soldier. Together we can beat this corona.
For further information, please contact the hotline at 311 or the Bureau of Health Education at 468-5349.
And welcome back to the OECS Commission's handover of medical equipment from the COVID-19 response by the OECS Commission. I am Alicia Ali. Thank you so very much for staying with us. As you can see, we changed a little bit while we were on break. This segment is Massey Stores, St. Lucia and St. Vincent's contribution to the COVID-19 response, and they have given US $100,000, which has been used to procure 5 ventilators, 2 of which will go to the Owen King European Union Hospital here in St. Lucia. We have 2 going to Dominica and 1 going to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And at this juncture, I would like to invite the Managing Director of Massey Stores St. Lucia Limited, Mr. Martin Dorville, to present to Ms. Jenny Daniel from the Ministry of Health and Wellness to present the donation of the ventilators. As you can appreciate, the ventilators are very sensitive equipment and also very large, so we can't really have them in studio. However, you will be able to see them. Mr. Dorville, Ms. Daniel.
So the presentation is really symbolic. And I think it's apropos that I just share with you a little bit about Massey and why it was so easy for us to make that decision, I think, even before possibly we were asked of it. And I represent today Massey Stores St. Lucia and Massey Stores St. Vincent. We have as part of our vision a force for good. And this definitely presents us with an opportunity to be a force for good. Obviously, we operate within an environment, and that environment has many stakeholders, the communities that we serve. And they impact us, and likewise, the decisions that we make impact our communities, our economy, our country. And, long before the crisis peaked, we were very well aware that we had to play a major national part, a national role in providing that support, and more so to the health sector. So when Dr. Jules asked, it was, and he would tell you, it was with very little time lag that we were able to say yes to $100,000 US dollars in support of the cause. This crisis has really tested our resolve as a retailer. Our people are on the front line, and likewise our customers put themselves at risk whenever they step out and whenever they step into our facilities. So we have actually spared no effort, and that has come at a tremendous cost to our business. But we remain resolute. We remain steadfast. I have seen an organization live its value, live its mission, creating value and transforming life. This is our mission, and these opportunities, it gives us an opportunity to do just that. We value the effort that we have put into making sure that our staff, our customers are safe. Cannot be overemphasized. We continue to do it. We continue to ask you to wash your hands. We continue to ask, because while we have donated ventilators, we wish that no one would have to go onto a ventilator. And so we advocate that we will make sure that we are all safe as we travel this crisis. So, we were listening to the song just previously. It says, "Together we can win this war," and we are very optimistic in that regard. That our behavior is going to decide the extent and the speed with which we win this war. So thank you very much, and we are happy to donate.
Thank you. Okay, on behalf of the government of St. Lucia, the Minister of Health and the Ministry of Health, and all the frontline workers, I wish to thank you, Massey Stores, for your donation of ventilators to us. They will go a long way. Of course, hopefully we'll never get to use them, but we wish to thank you and all our corporate partners, the OECS. Thank you for this donation, and we will ensure that it will go to the best use possible. Hopefully we will never get to that point. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
And so, hold on one second, Mr. Dorville. So I do need to mention that Mr. Dorville is celebrating his birthday today. And so in the COVID-19 season, where it is quite difficult for us to find reasons to celebrate, I think we should celebrate Massey's, who's at the helm of Massey. Thank you. All right, so now you can go. No, I will not be singing happy birthday. I don't think anybody needs to suffer through that. And so Ms. Danielle as well is going to say a few words to thank Digicel for their donation.
Okay, also on behalf of the Minister of Health, the Ministry of Health, Government of St. Lucia, I wish to thank Digicel for their very timely donation of PPEs. We will ensure that they will be used for the frontline workers in the best possible way. Thank you again as corporate partners for your support to the Ministry of Health. Thanks.
Thank you, Ms. Danielle. The OECS Commission is committed to regional integration and to ensuring that we as a people are able to make it through this pandemic. A lot of the OECS's response to the COVID-19 pandemic can be found in a document called the COVID-19 and Beyond Impact Assessment Report, which can be found on www.oecs.int. So you could have a look at that document, and it really encapsulates what we as a commission have done during the COVID-19 response and with recommendations on the way forward. But let me not steal his thunder. I'd like to invite our Director General of the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States, Dr. Didicus Jules, to say a few words.
Yeah, thank you very much, Alicia. And let me begin by again expressing our deepest gratitude to both Digicel and to Massey Stores for this huge contribution to the OECS and to OECS member states and to the people of our region. I think it's important to put this donation in a bit of context. In March of this year, long before, well, just before the COVID thing hit, the OECS had started an effort to involve the private sector of the region in development, in our development work. As you know, the private sector is often left out of that discourse. And we had a breakfast at Harbour Club where we invited all of the regional and international private sector, which was very well attended. In fact, post-COVID, 90% of the partners who have come on board to support our pivot towards addressing the COVID crisis were persons who had attended that breakfast. In September, we have a highlight event, which is now going to be all virtual, but involving some really big names internationally in investment and so on in order to help really galvanize the redevelopment of the region, because COVID, I believe, has thrown us back 30 years in our fight against poverty and on many development fronts. Again, to further contextualize this, if people follow the news, they would realize that not only have governments been hard hit by COVID, and of course the people of all of the countries globally, unprecedented levels of unemployment, but even the largest corporations, save for the giants like Amazon and so on, all of the private sector has been very hard hit by this as well. And so you look at what is happening in some of the developed countries. The big multinational corporations are calling on their governments to assist with bailouts and other incentives in order to help them recover from this crisis. In the Caribbean, of course, we don't have some of the luxuries that these developed countries have to recover. There's no way that governments can give massive bailouts to the private sector. But it is interesting that our private sector in the OECS has responded despite the hit to them in the ways in which they have. And I think that is where we ground our appreciation to partners like Massey and Digicel who've come forward, because whereas multinationals far larger than they have are asking for bailouts to the tune of trillions, here they are suffering equally from COVID, but assisting in every way possible to make this thing happen. So we want to thank them for their contribution and look forward to a new relationship. There's a very interesting article that was written by Sir Ron Sanders, the Ambassador Plenipotentiary of Antigua and Barbuda to the United States. And Sir Ron spoke about the implication of COVID and the need for a new development model. And in that article, he's saying that the old dichotomies between the state and the private sector, government and civil society, these things have to change. Again, referencing the song we heard earlier, we are all in this, we can only win this together. And therefore, it is imperative that in shaping the way forward post-COVID, we look at a development model that does not stand only on reliance on government or on reliance on the private sector or on reliance on civil society, but which forges a new type of partnership that can ensure that we move this thing forward together. Thank you very much to all of you, and we really appreciate of this effort.
Thank you so very much, Dr. Jules. And just to add here, the OECS Commission is engaging in pooled procurement of resources, which means that instead of us ordering equipment on an individual basis, we are pooling our individual countries together in one block. And I really do have to recognize the staff at the PPS unit of the OECS Commission who work around the clock, especially during COVID-19, to ensure that we were all sufficiently equipped, our frontline workers were sufficiently equipped, and also our health system was able to be well prepared in the event the COVID-19 pandemic got worse than we actually had it. And Abraham Weeks and his team has been doing such a fantastic job. We want to thank you, viewers. Thank you so very much for joining us for this very important occasion where we at the OECS Commission feel that it is necessary to show you that we have been working in your benefit. We have been working to advance our peoples of the region. And we want to thank the Government Information Service of St. Lucia and all our GISs around the region for always being such good partners to us. So at this juncture, I'm Alicia Ali, and I'm going to hand you off to Jesse.
Thank you for that, Alicia. Thank you so much for the presentation this morning. More shows, more displays, demonstrations of support in our COVID-19 fight.